Good evening. My name is Logan Ashbaugh, and I'm going to be talking about my future profession in the medical field. My profession that I am actually trying to obtain a degree for is a radiology technician. So I'm going to be basically just giving you a little background information about what a radiology technician is. What is radiology? Just an informative speech about it. So my key parts in my speech that I'm going to be talking about is what is radiology? What's the difference between radiologists and the technicians? How much schooling is needed? And a lot of people probably want to know, what's the salary? How much does a technician actually make annually? And where can you work? And is there any specific field that you have to work in? So let's get into it. A little background information about radiology is that the first ever X-ray image taken was taken in 1895 by a gentleman of the name Wilhelm Röntgen. I am so sorry. I do not know if I pronounced his name right. His first ever image was of no other than his wife's hand, and it has become one of the most well-known images in the radiology field. It's the most iconic one. And basically, what radiology is a series of tests and that take pictures or images of the different parts of the body. And a little fun fact that I found out was, as of November 8th, it marked 125 years since the very first picture was taken of his wife's hand. It was the first ever picture. And since then, there has been a lot of progress, a lot of discoveries in the radiology field that has gotten us to where we are nowadays. And there's more advancements, and technology is just advancing every day. So who knows where we'll be in the next, let's just say, 5 years. A big thing that a lot of people probably want to know is, what's the difference between an actual radiologist and a radiology technician? First off, radiology technicians are the ones who actually perform the diagnostic testings on the patients, whereas the radiologist is the ones who actually look at those images that were taken of the patient and interpret those images to provide a course of treatment of what's wrong or what's going on with that patient. And also, a big key difference in between the two is the schooling. Radiologists have to go to medical school. They have to obtain a doctorate to be able to actually diagnose patients and give a course of treatment. They also, it's the same as technicians, have to get certified to be able to work in any medical field. Regardless if you have your degree or not, you have to be certified. And there's a test that you take. It's called the ARRT exam. So you have to take that before you're able to work in any medical field, any office. So the education for the technicians, you only have to obtain a 2-year associate's degree. Wow. With that being said, there are people who want to further their education to get a higher degree. And with that, you can finish and get a bachelor's degree to specialize in additional areas that you want to actually work into, that needs to have a further education for you to work in those fields, such as mammography, MRIs, those type of scans. Salary. As of May of 2019, the average salary for a radiology technician was $60,510. It's a lot considering what I make now. Many of the salaries just depend, honestly, on where you live, where you work at, what kind of office you're actually working in, because taxes are different in different states. So they base your salary off of the taxes where you live at. And I guess it might have to also do with your degree. So what kind of degree it is, what's your experience, is basically what they're going to base your pay on. So the lowest reported percentage of those people were paid $51,150, whereas the highest percentage of those people were paid a total of $101,000. $580, my bad. I forgot that. $101,580. Sorry about that. So that's a big gap. So it all just depends on where you're living, the taxes of around where you're living, what state, what office, whether you're working in a hospital, just an office, outpatient center. It all just depends on that. And like I was saying about hospitals, places of employment where you can actually work with this degree. You can work in hospitals, offices of physicians, outpatient care centers, medical and diagnostic laboratories, radiologic technologists and technicians held about 212,000 of those jobs in 2019. It's a big number. The different fields where you can actually, the different specialties you could actually specialize in the field of radiology. You could do mammograms, mammography. Mammography uses low dosage x-ray systems to obtain images of the breast, whether you're female or male. The MRIs. They usually inject patients with a contrast dye, and with that, it gives them a better picture, clearer, better picture of the patient's insides. So that being said, the scanners use a magnetic field with the combination of the contrast agent to obtain those images. Another specialty you can work in with being a radiology technician, a lot of people know this one, CT scans. CT scans actually combines a series of x-rays, the images that are taken from different angles around the body, and then they put those together and just combine those. So you can have 4 different of those images all on the same image. So it'd be easier for the doctor, radiologist, to look at those and diagnose the patient on what's really wrong with them. CT scan images provide a more detailed image than an X-ray does. So they prefer that. That's pretty much the runaround that I gave today. I hope you enjoyed my speech. Hopefully you understood what I was saying. And it's just a really good field to get into. It's a good way to start your career, your medical career, if you want to. Well, thank you, and hope you have a great evening.